Welcome in to the Week 3 edition of Three Things to Watch. I'm Rob Washburn, flying solo this week while Carly is on assignment overseas. But the show must go on, and we have three big conference matches on the schedule as part of a busy 11-game slate. We start on the Jersey Shore, where Monmouth plays its home opener against Campbell. The first thing that I'll be watching is the battle between two of the most balanced and prolific offenses in FCS football. Campbell is averaging 40 points per game this season and is coming off a school record 611-yard performance in last week's dominating road win at the Citadel. Quarterback Haj Malik Williams has been outstanding, completing an FCS best 81% of his passes, and last week he accounted for 398 yards of offense and 5 touchdowns. He's spreading the ball around as receivers VJ Wilkins, Jalen Kelsey, and Channing Fitzgerald already have double-digit receptions. The Campbells can also get it done on the ground, piling up 260 rushing yards last week. Now on the other side is a Monmouth offense that tallied 200 more yards, both in the air and on the ground, earning a CAA road win at Towson last Saturday. We know about the skills and speed of All-American Jaden Sheridan, who rumbled for 145 yards and a touchdown against the Tigers, but it was backup Sone Ento, who broke off a big 66-yard scoring run last Saturday as part of a 3-touchdown effort. New quarterback Marquez McCray has thrown for over 200 yards in each of his first 2 games with the Hawks, and he has a pair of veteran wideouts in Dymere Miller and Asante Kearney. This game is setting up as a shootout, and it should be a fun one to watch. Let's hear from Monmouth's Kevin Callahan and Campbell's Mike Minner on Saturday's matchup.
So they've got great size, and it's no wonder that they're nationally ranked in a number of categories. I mean, at points per game, they're in the top 10. Passing yards per game, they're in the top 10. Total yards per game, they're close to the top 10. So they're doing it all on that side of the ball right now.
This offense is, ever since I've played Monmouth, since 2019, 2018, I think, these guys know how to score points. Great offensive coordinator. The head coach knows how to, put the ball in the right spots to the right players. And so this offense is going to be challenging.
For our second thing to watch, we head to the Tar Heel State, where North Carolina A&T will make the short trip to Elon. Both teams have had similar starts to their seasons, falling to an FBS team in the opener before dropping a close game to a rival last week. Now with conference play starting, these squads will be hungry for a victory. What I'll be watching is a trio of talented running backs who have the ability to carry the load for their offenses. For Elon, it's Jalen Hampton, who's coming off a 1,000-yard season a year ago and has already picked up 166 yards while averaging 5 yards per carry in 2023. He went over the century mark 4 times last season and is due for 1 this year. At A&T, it's been the combination of Kenji Christian and Wesley Graves providing most of the offense. Christian has 143 yards and is averaging an impressive 7.2 yards per carry, while the powerful Graves has 127 yards with a 5.3 yard per carry average. They've accounted for over 77% of the A&T offense this season. Both the Phoenix and the Aggies feature veteran offensive lines and have been inconsistent throwing the ball. The team that can best establish its running game is likely to start 1-0 in CAA play. Here are North Carolina A&T's Vincent Brown and Elon's Tony Trisciani on the battle in the Triad.
They've had to replace some guys from the last couple of years, but I think they have some talent. There's a new quarterback there. I think Matthew Downing, the last half of last week's game, came in and did a really nice job for him. And so, it'll be a challenge, but, I think our kids are excited for the challenge to go in and play a conference game.
I think it's a great game for us, and it's going to become a rivalry. It will. And we're excited to have them at home. And I know our fan base is, and, it's our home opener, and we're happy to be home. 2 tough games on the road for us. So getting into conference play here with A&T, this is a big week for us.
We head to Maine for our third thing to watch as the Black Bears play their home opener against 20th-ranked Rhode Island. The Black Bears are looking for their first win after a pair of challenging road games to start the year, while the Rams hope to build on last Friday's 35-14 triumph over Stony Brook. What I'll be watching is the matchup between Rhode Island's explosive group of wide receivers against an experienced Maine secondary. Now, with the graduation of All-CAA receiver Ed Lee and tight end Caleb Warren, it was fair to wonder if quarterback Kasim Hill was going to have the necessary weapons on the outside. After 2 weeks, that question has been answered in a big way. The Rams' trio of receivers Quintero Summers, Darius Savage, and freshman Marquise Buchanan all have at least one catch of 60 or more yards, and they've combined for 27 receptions for 551 yards and 4 touchdowns. This week they face a Maine secondary that has been the strength of a defense that held FIU to 14 points and kept powerful North Dakota State out of the end zone for most of the first half last week. The quartet of Bugs Brown, Robbie Riobi, Shakir Smalls, and Alhaji Kamara has combined for 38 tackles, an interception, and 3 pass breakups, and has given up only 1 pass play over 40 yards. Whether they're able to have similar success slowing down the high-flying Rams could determine Saturday's outcome. Now let's listen to what Rhode Island's Jim Fleming and Maine's Jordan Stevens had to say.
We're going to have to operate on all 3 cylinders. I'm very concerned about their defense. I think they're stout. I think they're aggressive. Their front 4 is very, very good and very active. I see, that they're doing what they do on defense that they've been doing for a long period of time, and they're salty group.
Explosive on offense. Their ability to get the ball vertically down the field is impressive. They have a great receiving group on offense. I think they're 53% on third down, so they're going to convert. Scored 10 touchdowns, really good in the red zone as well. So I just a lot of respect for what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball. And
now here's a look at the rest of the schedule around CAA football. Thanks as always for tuning in to another episode of 3 Things to Watch. To follow along with all things CAA football, visit cafootball.com and CAA Football on social media.